This is Talk of the Town, a weekly program featuring community events happening in and around Northeast Michigan, with your host, Nancy Smitham, and get the latest from Alpena Community College with Don McMaster. And now, today's Talk of the Town.
Good morning and welcome to Talk of the Town. My first guest today is Stephanie Gandula from Thunder Bay National Marine Sanctuary. Good morning, Stephanie.
Good morning, Nancy.
Thanks for being here. I know you're getting ready to set out on an adventure of a lifetime, and you brought your family with you today to watch you tape all the way from Montana.
That's right. I'm thrilled to have them here.
Thank you so much. Well, first of all, let's start out talking about Maritime Festival at Thunder Bay National Marine Sanctuary. If people have not been there, they cannot imagine the magnitude of this event.
That's right. Thousands of people, upwards of 10,000 people travel literally from all over the state, from Canada, to come to the Maritime Festival. And if you can believe it, it's the 16th annual.
Wow.
16th
I remember
annual.
the first one.
Do you really?
Yes, I very much do, yes.
That's exciting. Yeah, so we have got a great lineup of entertainment. I mean, there's all sorts of things that happen throughout Maritime Festival. There's the cardboard boat regatta. There's
So start building your boats.
Start building your boats for sure. So there's that, and that's an all-day affair as well with the awards at the end. And then there's the lineup of entertainers, and then there's kids' activities, and of course all the great food vendors, the whitefish sandwiches.
Yes.
Got to have a whitefish sandwich on Maritime Fest. But the cardboard boat race, I'll start with that.
Yes.
So this is the fourth year. Gosh, maybe it's the fifth year we're doing it. I can't believe it. But
Okay.
the cardboard boat regatta has been a success from the start. People, in fact, I just heard the other day, some people have been building these boats for months already. Cardboard boats that can
And there are rules and regulations, so before you start, make sure that you look at the directions, and you can find those online.
That's right. ThunderBayFriends.org is the website you go to, and all the rules are right there, and the registration forms are right there. There's a small registration fee, but that goes to support the Friends group, of course.
Sure.
And to put on the regatta, which people have been traveling to just see the regatta, because it is so much fun to watch these people get in literally a cardboard box and paddle across the river, the Thunder Bay River, the cold, fast-moving Thunder Bay River, and most of them make it all the way across. But then the really funny part is when they turn around to go back, and that's where you see the 16 people in a big cardboard tub swamp. And, but that's lots of fun, and there's awards at the end of the day for that.
And it's definitely a spectator sport. If you don't want to participate, if you don't like the water, you know it's cold, whatever, but definitely it's so much fun to watch.
It is so much fun to watch. And in fact, that whole bridge there is just lined with people. You can even, a great vantage point is the roof deck. If you haven't been up on the roof deck,
that's pretty spectacular.
It's beautiful. Lots of vegetation up there. Great place to watch all of the happenings at Maritime Festival, especially the cardboard boat regatta.
Okay, after that?
After that, we've got a great lineup of music and entertainers this year. Of course, the ever-popular Song of the Lakes.
Yes.
They are so much fun. They, you can sing along with them, and it's maritime music, and they're coming. And then Moxie Strings. Have you heard of Moxie Strings?
No, I haven't.
So a great Michigan band. It's a trio, and it's a lot of stringed instruments, but really cutting-edge interpretation of some old classics and traditional songs. A young group of folks that come, and super popular around Michigan and around the Great Lakes. So this is the first time they're coming to Maritime Festival.
Oh, how exciting.
Yeah, very excited about that. And then, of course, the kids' activities. And we work hard, all year long to plan some new and exciting things for kids of all ages to do. So this year we'll have face painting, of course. You can't have a festival without face painting.
No.
And then one new one this year is what we're calling Macro Hoops.
Okay.
And so this is one of our partners, the Northeast Michigan Great Lakes Stewardship Initiative.
Okay.
We partner with them in a lot of our educational programs, and this particular program is where the volunteers go out and collect macro invertebrates from the water. So all sorts of the bugs that you find in the water that are an indicator of water quality. So it's a great tool to teach youth about what to look for to determine and what makes our water so special and healthy.
I have some zebra mussels I could spare.
Bring them along. So the kids will actually get their hands dirty and get their hands wet and dig into identifying these bugs, these macroinvertebrates. So it's an educational science activities.
Disguised as fun.
Disguised as fun, exactly.
Yay.
And then we have the big bounce house, of course. And also new this year, we're really excited to be launching our new Science on a Sphere climate change program. And so we're going to launch this on July 4th. And some of the education team at the Marine Sanctuary received a grant to get some very specialized training in climate change interpretation. And so we're going to be launching that on the 4th of July. So if it's really hot out, which it often is, you can come into the Science on a Sphere Theater, cool off, and watch a short program on the globe all about climate change, the cutting edge science in climate change.
And a little bit ago you mentioned volunteers. Boy, do we need volunteers to pull this off. You can imagine 10,000 people coming to this event.
Absolutely. And this and ROV competition are two big events where we really need, I mean, nearly 100 volunteers to make it happen. So just a few days ago we sent out the appeal for volunteers. If you didn't get that in your inbox, go to our website, thunderbay.noaa.gov, and you can check out the new link. There's actually a new slick way.
Painless and easy.
Painless and easy. New slick way to sign up to be a volunteer online. So if you want to just volunteer for an hour on the 4th of July and then enjoy the rest of the festivities that Alpena has to offer, you can do that, or you could volunteer all day.
Yay! And anyone who volunteers has a great time. It's just such a fun thing and a wonderful event for our community.
Absolutely. And we couldn't do it not only without our volunteers, but without our local sponsors. We just confirmed a $4,000 sponsorship from Lappin Agency.
Wow.
So that's our title sponsor, our platinum sponsor. But there's dozens of other sponsors, businesses around the community that make this event possible and makes it so we can offer it for free.
And please support these sponsors that support our community. So we have about 3 minutes left, just enough time to tell us about your grand adventure. Where are we and how's it going?
Well, very good. I'm really excited to be taking part on an Arctic expedition as part of a group of women. It's an all-female team, and we're going to be delivering outreach programs in the Canadian Arctic. And this is starting in, you're right, oh my goodness, it's right around the corner. So I'm super excited to be representing not only the National Marine Sanctuary, but also Alpena, Michigan, and the Great Lakes. I'm the only participant that's coming from the Great Lakes, and I'm the only maritime archaeologist on the team.
How amazing and how exciting. And how long will you be gone?
I'll be gone a little more than 3 weeks.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we can't wait till you come back, and then you can do the service club circuit.
Yes, I'm looking forward to it.
And show everyone. And also this past Saturday you did diving for dogs. How did that go?
It went great. Oh my gosh, so many people came out, and there was lots of different things for folks to do. I mean, we had a groomer on site, the photo booth, because everybody wants pictures with their pets. So Great Lakes Divers, another local business, did a great fundraiser for the Humane Society.
Okay, and just let people know, we live on the Great Lakes. If you want to get into the Great Lakes, we have Great Lakes Divers. If you want to get onto the lakes, we have the Lady Michigan. Lots of ways to get out there and enjoy things in your own backyard.
That's so true. And I mean, speaking of the Lady Michigan, we have been taking out thousands of people, and I've just been reflecting on, because we're getting more and more volunteers that are going out as sanctuary ambassadors, and just reflecting on the volunteers we've had in the past, but also the thousands of visitors that have, like you said, gone out to experience the Great Lakes, who might not want to spend the thousands of dollars to dive 200 feet down. They don't have to do that. They can go out with their families and see the shipwrecks just a few feet below the glass bottom.
Thank you so much for being here, and I know I won't see you again until after you come back, but
that's right.
Best wishes and good luck, and I'm looking forward to hearing all about it.
Thank you so much, Nancy.
Thank you. I'll be right back with Ted Fines from Habitat for Humanity following these messages. Hi, welcome back. I'm with Ted Fines, who is the brand new director of Habitat for Humanity here in Alpena. Hi, Ted.
Hi, Nancy. How are you?
I'm doing very well, thank you. And once again, I know you've been in Alpena for many years.
Yes.
And you've been on the Habitat board, but you're now the executive director.
Yes.
So does the role change a little bit from board member? A lot more hours, probably.
Well, a lot more hours, and it's incredible the expansive responsibility that you have as executive director. And you can sit on the board for many years and not realize what the executive director and the office manager and the assistant office manager and the restore manager and the restore assistant manager and the construction manager, what they have to go through to make Habitat for Humanity Northeast Michigan productive.
And I think that's probably that way for most boards. You're on the board, you make sure everything gets done, you have your monthly meetings, and then you go off. But now, you said there's a lot of myths about Habitat for Humanity. We want to dispel some of those myths to get started.
Well, I think the first biggest one is Jimmy Carter and his wife Rosalind didn't start Habitat. It was actually Millard Fuller and his wife Linda that started in 1976 in Americus, Georgia. 1976, 40 years ago.
That's funny, because I never knew that either, and I know Jimmy Carter brought it to the forefront.
And he's still very much involved,
Yes.
to say the least. Yes.
And I know a lot of people from Alpena have gone on Jimmy and Rosalind Carter builds
Yes.
before, and it's been a
Yes.
wonderful, fun event.
Yeah.
And go ahead. Go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say that, yes, Jimmy Carter was here a few years ago, and he put Habitat on the map.
Yes, he did.
And I think it's really up to me now as the new executive director to be the face of Habitat for Humanity Northeast Michigan and let people, organizations, individuals know what we're all about. Because we're always reaching out to the community, but we're also reaching out to families in need of safe, secure housing within the 3 counties, which is Alcona, Presque and Alpena, that we're responsible for.
And you brought up a point. You said in-need families.
Yes.
So tell us how you're an in-need family.
Well, again, one of those myths, besides Jimmy Carter and his wife, is the fact that we give away houses for free. And that's not true. There's 3 criteria: the need, the financial wherewithal that they can afford to make payments. And
Yes.
the payments are anywhere between $400 to $500, but that includes property taxes and insurance.
It's amazing.
It is amazing. And also that we partner with these families, and they perform 500 hours per couple of sweat equity.
Okay.
That's an incredible investment.
Yes,
and
it
I think
is.
once you invest that sort of time, and not necessarily always as far as the construction or renovation of a house, but just participating with Habitat in other functions, be it selling tickets for a quilt giveaway at organizations like Chambers of Commerce, et cetera, et cetera. So there's ways of increasing your sweat equity hours over that year or so.
Okay, one of the wonderful parts of Habitat for Humanity is your restore. And lately that's gotten a beautiful facelift.
Well, we had a nice, last Thursday, we had, I think, 34 young people and participate from the Air Force Base. They came to Alpena Airport, and along with Bliss Painting, Doug Bliss donated not only the sprayers and the rollers and the brushes,
Yay.
and organized it. So, but Doug, our construction manager, Colin, our volunteer coordinator, they organized the whole event as far as feeding them, but also getting the building painted. So it's been repainted, about 95% of it. We still have some accenting to do, and we will be putting up new signage or additional signage with a nice black
Yay.
stripe around the front,
Well,
all the way around.
Certainly is a welcome addition to Chisholm Street when you go down and see that
Yeah, it looks
beautiful
great.
building.
Yeah, it
and I
looks
hope
great.
people take time to go in, and they need to go in every day because the merchandise changes every
Changes
day.
all the time. And not only do we have the restore, which people in the community can donate, we also will pick up. If you call
Yes.
our number at 354-5555, you can make arrangements with the restore. We have a cube truck that will go out and pick up items that are saleable, and we will write you a donation ticket, and we bring it back, clean it up, and sell it, and that all the proceeds, 100% of the proceeds, go towards new developments, new renovations, and new housing within the 3-county area.
Okay, and
We also have the Rethink
Yes.
now, which is a reconsignment store. So if you have something that is somewhat valuable and you just don't want to give it away and the kids don't want it anymore, bring it to the Rethink, and if we sell it, you get 65%.
Yay!
Habitat gets 35%, and it's a win-win situation.
Yes, it is. And once again, merchandise changes there often. So
Oh, we
make sure
rotate
you're-
it continuously.
And then the need for volunteers. As you said, the people who get the homes have to do sweat equity, but all these wonderful things that you do wouldn't be possible without volunteers.
Well, we can't. There's 2 things we can't do without. We can't perform as an affiliate without money, be it donations, be it creating those monies through sales at the Restore, or grants, and volunteers. So we just established, starting June 1st, Colin Bruning who works at the Restore, is now our volunteer coordinator. So he will be reaching out to churches, organizations, and arranging volunteers, because we can't do this work without volunteers. Without volunteers, we cannot keep the cost of this housing down to where families can afford those payments.
And once again, as a volunteer, you don't have to actually go to the construction site. You could help with fundraisers. You could bring lunch. You could bring cookies. You could bring drinks. You could, when someone comes from out of town, you could help provide housing. There's so many different ways you become.
There's so many different ways, but one of the benefits of being a volunteer is you might be able to learn how to use a hammer.
Yes.
Because Doug, our construction manager, Doug Talent, has been our construction manager for years. And he'll take the time and show you how to roll a wall with paint, how to hammer using a hammer and nail or a screw gun or whatever. So whatever it takes to get the job done.
And once again, it doesn't have to be 5 hours a day. It can be an hour or two here, wherever you can.
Exactly.
So how do we sign up to be a volunteer?
Just call us at 354-5555.
Okay.
Ask for the office. Number 1, dial 2 for the office. Number 1 for the Restore. Leave a message for myself, Ted Fines, Colin Bruning also, or just talk to our office manager, Tanya. So we will get back to you if we don't answer right away, and we will get you signed up.
Okay. Thank you so much for being here. We're out of time, but next time you come on, we'll get we'll get an update on the projects, where we are and where we're going next.
Yes, thank you very much.
Thanks,
Nancy.
Please stay tuned for Dr. Don McMaster following these messages.
Greetings, everyone, and welcome to Talk of the Town. I'm Dr. Don McMaster. I'm president of Alpena Community College, and I'm pleased to have as our guest this morning Alpena Public Schools Superintendent Brent Holcomb. Welcome, Brent.
Hey, thanks, Don. I really appreciate you extending an invitation, and glad to be here.
Glad to have you. Great friend, great partner. And I thought today we'd talk a little bit about the partnership between APS and ACC. And I was at the graduation on Sunday. My daughter graduated. Just had a great experience at APS. And some of the partnerships, the dual enrollment, early college, are just remarkable. Could you speak to those?
Yeah, you know, I think graduation is that culmination of all the hard work, but you know, when Mr. Poley talked from the podium and he shared some stats, it's pretty impressive that all the graduates that come from Alpena Public Schools, a great many of them have college credits, and much of that is courtesy of ACC. We have that long-standing relationship, and we've expanded it with early college in the last few years, so a lot of good things for kids.
Absolutely. The early college is somewhat new. We're in our third year, our first cohort. Mrs. McCoy and Lee Fitzpatrick came up with a very nice gesture, I thought, where they had dual cords, APS and ACC colors. I thought that was really neat.
Yeah, I had to laugh because we had to go through the process there because it sort of came out Alpena green and white, and you guys have the red, and it sort of had the candy cane. So we had to work through the logistics of artistic presentation there. But pretty cool stuff.
It was cool, and we appreciated it. And there's probably 110, 120 kids in early college.
Yeah, the number is growing. I think this year we're looking at for this next class having over 40 students involved, which,
correct,
you know, when you look at the numbers, that's of a particular class. When you look at 300 kids in a class, you're looking at probably 15% of the student population's taking advantage of early college. And you know, for the community, I think for them to try to understand what early college is, I sort of call it a state promise, if you will, that, you know, if kids are willing to commit to this program, the state's willing to give us one more year of state aid, and that allows us to help pay for that first year of college.
It's an absolute great deal for the students and their parents. It's a great deal for the community college, and it's a very commendable investment on your part, especially for the first 2 years, and we appreciate your commitment in that regard.
Yeah, I think it's a pretty easy commitment to make. You know, I mentioned earlier when we talked, you know, the Lumina Foundation has done an extensive study and has expressed that I think by 2025 they're looking to have 65% of all high school graduates having some form of post-secondary degree, whether it's a certificate in welding or a 4-year degree in, from one of the universities. And I think that's a noble effort. Michigan, I think, is somewhere in the neighborhood near 40%. And I think the statistics I saw most recent on MLive showed that Alpena Public Schools was somewhere in the neighborhood of 49%. So we were exceeding state averages, which I was pretty proud.
It is something to be very proud of, and it's motivated by what's best for students.
Yeah, clearly. And I think, one of the things that I see as critical is for students maybe that are first-generation college kids, and I was one of those, I think it's very difficult for these kids to anticipate or understand what it takes to go to a university. And I see dual enrollment, I see early college AP courses as being a way to kind of wet their whistle. And I think that first taste of a college course kind of gets them over the hump and makes it a more attainable goal. So I think the fact that we're working together to offer that opportunity means a lot.
It sure does. I can speak personally. In our family, all our children have taken advantage of dual enrollment and AP courses, and it's been a tremendous experience for them. My son graduated from APS and ACC right about the same time.
Yep.
So you had referenced a welding student.
Mm-hmm.
I just want to share with you, we haven't talked about this,
Yep.
I don't think, but about 3 weeks ago, U.S. Senator Gary Peters was in town. And he has a lot of interest in drones and a lot of interest in early college.
Yep.
And 2 of the early college students he met.
Okay.
And one of them was a welding student, Spencer Shadig.
Yep, I know him well.
Yes.
Good kid.
And he laid it out. He was direct eye contact, spoke positively about it, his experience and the pertinence of it. A lot to be proud of there.
Yeah, and I think, with some of the changes that have occurred at the state level, I think what the message I'd send to politicians like Gary Peters is, create policies that reward what you value. And I think that those, getting kids that first initial step towards college means a great deal. And I think it means a great deal to parents, because if they take advantage of these opportunities in high school, that's money that comes out of their taxes that ultimately is not going to come out of their pocketbook in the future. So
Yes.
I'm like,
Yes. Yeah.
let me help you pay for college.
Well, we're glad you do.
Yeah, I'm glad to.
I had a great opportunity, I know you were there, to speak to the top 10% of your graduating class, both at Rotary and then at the Besser Foundation. And it must give you a source of great pride to see the range and the capabilities and those outstanding students. Could you reflect on that a bit?
Yeah, I think it's one of those things that sets us apart. I think our top kids, we've sort of trademarked a little bit a phrase called Alpena, start here, go anywhere. And I think those kids reflect that experience, that our best kids, they stack up to all the finest students in Michigan. And I think when you look at the number going to Michigan State, Ivy League schools, even your daughter, I think, went to
Albion.
Albion, and just great opportunities. And so I see our kids really achieving a lot. So I think Alpena's got it going.
Yeah, they sure do. It's inspirational to see a number of them go to ACC. We love that. Yep. And those that aren't going to ACC did go to ACC through dual enrollment.
Yep. And it matters.
It matters, yeah. Also, it was striking to me the number and the amount of scholarship dollars that's collectively that senior class was an incredible number.
It's significant, and they really do make a difference. I look at and I think it's important to point out, because I'm good friends with Jackie Kroshek at the Chamber, and what's really been nice, you talk about our partnership. We've partnered with the Chamber for what we call an early college access network, where we're trying to make that connection for kids, and I think the business community sees the value. And what I see in the Chamber is they put education as one of their economic development goals. And I think if we want Alpena to grow, we've got to continue to find ways to invest in these kids, because someday they're going to come back, and I always kind of joke, support me in my retirement.
Well, they're certainly going to be the leaders of our community.
True story.
And I think Jackie and the Chamber are right on target with that approach.
Yeah, it matters.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
So we got about 15 seconds left. That you are going to be leaving town and taking the next step in your career.
Yeah, as I've shared with a lot of people, this is sort of bittersweet. You know, it's an opportunity to get closer to home, and my parents are getting up there, but you know, they need me a little bit, and so I think that's kind of been part of the motivation. And the bittersweet part is Alpena has been such a great community, and it's been so good to my wife and I, and it really has been home. And what I would tell folks is that this is a special place. It's not like this everywhere, and I look at the relationships and the collaboration, our friendship, all the things that go well here, and it sets Alpena apart.
Well, congratulations.
Thank you.
Thanks for your efforts. Thank you for watching Talk of the Town. We'll see you next week.
This has been Talk of the Town with your hosts, Nancy Smitham and Don McMaster. For a list of events taking place in Northeast Michigan, please visit our website at wbkb11.com and click on the community link. This has been a Thunder Bay Broadcasting Corporation production.
The Talk of the Town furniture and set design are provided by Young Appliance Art Van Furniture on US 23 South in Alpena.